Hi guys, this is Sir Jonel, and this time we will discuss English 8, Quarter 1, Module number 5. Expressing emotional responses using a range of verbs, adjectives, and adverbs. So the most essential learning competency that we will be covering in this module is the use of a range of verbs, adjectives, and adverbs to convey emotional response or reactions to an issue to persuade. So our main goal is to convince or to persuade our listeners, and we will use 3 parts of speech: verbs, adjectives, and adverbs. And at the end of this discussion, we are expected to first identify the appropriate verbs, adjectives, and adverbs used in conveying emotions and opinions for persuasion. Use appropriate verbs, adjectives, and adverbs in expressing emotions and opinions for persuasion. Appreciate the importance of conveying emotional response or reaction to an issue for persuasion. And finally, write a persuasive paragraph using verbs, adjectives, and adverbs. So let's talk about our lesson 1 in this module, which is using verbs to express emotional responses. Really? Can we use verbs to express emotional responses? Well, let's see. Analyze these pictures and choose from I must or I must not. Number 1, what do you think is it? I must or I must not? If you said I must, then you are correct. Second one, I must not. The third one, correct, I must. And number 4, I must. So you may notice that the words must and must not are used in this activity to show your response. The word must is one of the words that you can use to express your emotions or opinions in order to convince or persuade. Here's another example written in or involved or included in this dialogue between Noel and Nanay. Notice the underlined words: want, think, am, are, must, and so on. How do we call these words, guys? Let's see. These words are called verbs. But have you noticed in the dialogue, if you'll try to pause it, these verbs are not just action words or state of being words. They also convey emotions. There are different types of verbs that can be used in expressing opinions and emotions to persuade or convince. And the classification of those verbs are as follows. First, linking verbs. We know that linking verbs are used to connect from the root word link or links. We use these verbs to connect the subject to its predicate. The predicate states or tells information about the subject, which could be an emotion or a description. So here are our examples of linking verbs. Am, is, was, were. Linking verbs also like appreciate, believe, feel, know, love, seem, think, deny, doubt, dislike, disagree, and want. Those are linking verbs. Their main job is to connect the subject to the predicate. But linking verbs can also show emotions and opinion. Let's see in these examples. I am afraid that you will get sick. Besides that, we are still under ECQ. The first sentence, or in this first sentence, the verb am, which is a linking verb, is used to tell the speaker is afraid on the possibility of the person getting sick. So he states the feeling, and it helps him to persuade the person that he's talking to using the linking verb am. Another sample sentence: unfortunately, with this pandemic, I think you better stay home. What is the verb here? The verb think is again a linking verb which links I to the predicate you. Now, this verb is used to state the strong belief of the speaker towards an existing fact. Stating a belief with a strong point is a way in convincing someone. Another sample sentence. No, Noel, I strongly disagree. So the word disagree here is a verb that states the stand of the speaker, emphasizing a stand in a good way in influencing someone to agree with your ideas. And the fourth example, Nanay, I want to go outside. The verb want states the desire of the speaker to go outside. Expressing a desire is a way to tell someone what you would like to happen. So see, we see here guys that linking verbs am, think, disagree, and want all show emotions, all show opinions with regards to a particular matter. So that is how we can convey our emotions using verbs, specifically linking verbs. There's another type of verb that can help us to show our emotions, and that's what we call modal verbs. These are verbs that express suggestion or recommendation, which is an effective way to convince or persuade. Again, modal verbs are types of verbs that help to show or express suggestion or recommendation. Examples of modal verbs are can, could, may, might, will, would, must, shall, should, and ought to. Here are our sample sentences. I suggest you play with your brother and sister, or you could join me, pray for tatay's safety. The word here, could, is a modal verb. And this modal verb is used to give a suggestion that the person could join the speaker in praying. Another sample sentence. No, Noel, I strongly disagree. You should follow what I tell you. So the modal verb here, should, suggests that the person needs to follow what the speaker tells. Number 3. The Department of Health recommends that people ought to stay at home so that they will not get sick. Ought to is another modal verb used to formally suggest that staying at home is important. So modal verbs could, should, ought to are modal verbs that you can use to express your suggestions and recommendations. Now that we're done with verbs helping us to express emotional responses, let's talk about our lesson 2. Another part of speech that can help us express our emotions, and that part of speech is what we call adjectives. What do we remember about adjectives? Well, adjectives are words that describe noun or a pronoun, but it also helps tell our emotions on a certain issue. We have positive adjectives and negative adjectives. For example, here's a sentence. As your friend, I will be delighted if you share your problems to me. What is our adjective here? Our adjective? The word delighted. So in this sentence, that word describes the positive feeling of the person about being able to listen to his or her friend's problems. The word delighted here expresses or helps us to express our emotions. And we know that delighted or happiness or being happy is a positive feeling. Next, sample sentence. Some teenagers are regretful that they were not able to spend time with their friends before the enhanced community quarantine. Our adjective here is regretful, and it helps us to show the emotion. But not like the adjective earlier, which is delightful, that has positive effect. Regretful has somehow a negative connotation. Now here's a paragraph which shows different adjectives. We have best, worst, embarrassed, guilty, better, and stronger. Try to read this paragraph by yourself. You have the choice to pause this video. Okay, here are some questions. Have you realized the importance of using adjectives in expressing positive and negative emotions? Are you now ready to use adjectives in giving your responses to a certain issue? Best is a positive emotion. Worst, quite negative. Embarrassed as well as guilty. But better and stronger are both positive emotions. So we can now use adjectives in giving responses to a particular issue, whether our response is positive or negative. We're finished with the first two parts of speech where we can use to express emotional responses. Let's talk about the third and the last part of speech that we will talk about in this module, and that is adverb. How can we use adverbs to express emotional responses? Well, what are adverbs in the first place? Adverbs modify verbs, adjectives, and other adverbs. If adjectives modify nouns and pronouns, adverbs modify verbs, adjectives, and other adverbs. And there are different types of adverbs: manner, time, place, frequency, and degree. But there is a particular adverb that really helps us to express our thoughts and emotions convincingly. And that particular type of adverb is called adverbs of opinion. Adverbs of opinion. The following are the commonly used adverbs of opinion. We have fortunately, strongly, clearly, obviously, personally, truthfully, disappointingly, completely. We also have definitely, really or actually, unfortunately, hopefully, surely, absolutely, probably, and again we have definitely and really and actually. And we can also see here their meanings. For example, fortunately means owing to good luck or favor. So if you believe in luck, then you probably use this. But if you don't believe in luck, like me, I usually don't use the word fortunately. Strongly, clearly, they also have their own meanings. Like firmly grounded, clearly means clear manner. So all you have to do, guys, for you to be able to use these words is to familiarize yourselves with this particular table. The adverb of opinion plus their meanings. Here are our sample sentences. Honestly, my eyes hurt from watching TV. I should take a break. What is our adverb of opinion here? Well, if you say honestly, you are correct. And honestly emphasizes the truthfulness of the emotion of the speaker that his or her eyes hurt. The adverb is placed at the beginning of the sentence, and this means that they can be placed at the beginning of sentences and are followed with comma. Another sample sentence we have: we definitely need to follow the rules implemented during the pandemic. What is our adverb of opinion here? Yes, the word definitely. It emphasizes the stand of the speaker, that he or she is certain that the rules must be followed. The adverb definitely is placed before the verb need, so this means that they can also be placed from before the main verb. Once again, where can we place our adverbs of opinion? At the beginning of sentences, followed by a comma, or we can also place them before the main verb. This time, observe how these adverbs are used in a paragraph. Please read. You may pause this video in order for you to have your time to personally read this paragraph. Done? So we have adverbs probably, truly, surely, actually, and objectively. Have you encountered some of these adverbs of opinion while reading other texts? For sure, or definitely, you have already encountered some of these adverbs. How do these words help in intensifying your stand about an issue? What adverbs would you like to use if you are to write your reactions of an issue? We can use these adverbs, and it's very important to really emphasize our point, our opinion, to really express our emotions. So there you have it, guys, how we can actually use verbs, adjectives, and adverbs in expressing our emotions. So here's an activity, writing a friendly letter. You'll read the text on how to stay healthy. Then you will complete the friendly letter by telling how important it is to be physically and mentally healthy as discussed in the text. Please use appropriate adverbs of opinion in making your thoughts convincing. There will be a rubric which will be given to you as your guide. So this ends our lesson. Thanks for listening. Once again, this is Sir Janelle, and hope you learned something new, of course, about our lesson in module number 5, quarter number 1, how to express our emotions using verbs, adjectives, and adverbs. Goodbye!